No, we're talking.
Oh, he's
He
gone.
leaves instantly. I have a feeling he doesn't like us, you know? Honestly.
You think? Oh, great. Close there. So, it looks like the stream's going. It's public. Everyone should be able to see, I think. Hopefully it'll go well. Oh, excellent. Well, that's great. So, while we're waiting for people to show up, I'll just say the quick introductions. It's me, Tripl-L. We're gonna be talking about Darling and the franxx and other little romance things for Darling and the franxx, I guess. Shit, we need TGC, man. If anyone's wondering, I said that this thing was gonna start, I think, an hour ago. My mistake. Things happened.
Oh, no, that's right.
We lost one of our guys. And yeah, but here right now I have Skelly with me.
Hi.
And then I got Clone.
What's up?
So
You didn't even get an introduction.
Prower is gone. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some people showing up in the stream and we'll be able to chat. And TGC's here, right?
Yes, TGC is
Sure.
here. Whether he's going to say or do anything is a different matter entirely.
We'll probably figure it out. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just gotta fix some stuff.
You know, I liked how the opening changed to show Mitsuru and Kokoro were now partners.
Yeah,
But then the immediate next bit,
yeah,
it says Mitsuru is still in Chlorphidium.
Oh, it's an error. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I mean, they're probably going to change the opening since it's halfway through.
yeah,
Probably.
it's probably a non-issue.
Yeah, so they
now.
probably didn't care enough to change the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna go through the effort of like changing it, you might as well go all the way with it. Like that's just laziness on their part. There's really no excuses.
Yeah, I mean, like, the One Piece opening does a better switch than this one. Like, I think the current One Piece opening has had 4 different versions so far.
I don't watch One Piece, so I wouldn't know.
Man,
Yeah, no. One Piece was like insane amount of effort into its opening changes.
Yeah, if you look at the One Piece openings, the first one, whenever they're going to make the changing opening, it always looks pretty lackluster. And then once you get to the last iteration of the opening, it's like, okay, that's not as bad.
Hmm.
And TGC is still not talking, so we'll have to just.
He just said
Totally.
Oh, there he is. Cool.
Yep. What's up?
You okay there, man? Yeah, you're hearable, but you sound really quiet. You okay?
You know, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I just stole my sister's mic. Fuck.
That's good. Stealing is always good.
I mean,
well, isn't that the opposite of a proper lesson?
Hey, kids who are watching, don't steal. Stealing is bad.
Yeah.
There we go.
Bad.
You know, now I can endorse this video.
Take it from someone who's studying the law. Stealing gets you nowhere.
makes sense.
Okay, so TGC, we're already live on the internet. So
How long have you guys been live?
oh,
Like,
just 3 minutes.
5 minutes at most.
Yeah, we're just getting people in right now.
That's cool. That's cool. Who did the introduction?
I tried to.
We sort of just arrived.
Yeah, we just kind of got in here, and I tried.
Trip, can you like put my voice at like 200?
Put your voice at 200. Huh. The thing is, I can hear you clearly.
Man. Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, that's cool.
Like, your voice quality sounds really good for this one. And for the people who are watching, thanks for giving us a bit of time. We're just getting our technical difficulties sorted.
A hero is so great, he cucked himself.
Dude, I haven't
I
watched
was-
the new episode. Can you guys stop it? Like, seriously.
You had all day to watch it.
No, he was probably busy.
No, he's busy.
I was busy too.
Dude, I've been at dinner for like the last 6 hours, man. I'm fucking burnt. Don't even like begin.
Okay.
Insane, dude.
So, since we're all tired, let's just get right into it. Are we all cool with that?
Sure.
Cool. So,
That's great.
I think what I really wanted to chat about is Kokoro in general, just from her last week's performance. Just because I think we all have like some pretty nice opinions about that.
See, I didn't care about her before, but now she's like second, third best girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so 0-2.
If she's third, who's second?
Who's second?
Okay,
Second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Prower, I think I can hear you.
What's her name?
02?
Miku.
Oh, okay.
That's an objectively bad pick.
What? All right, whatever, man. That's fine. 02 is easily first place. Like
Well,
no
yeah,
competition.
That's obvious.
I mean, no one's gonna dispute you.
Anyway, yeah. Last
Kokoro
week's
was a bitch for doing what she did. Like, okay, it's one thing if like you were never into it, you made it clear from the start. It's another thing if you lead this dude on and then you just like slit his throat, basically. Just dumb and mean.
I mean, yeah.
It's also pretty dumb to, in a combat situation, say, no, I don't want to be your partner forever. Especially when saying something like that could get you killed.
I mean, what's her face? Glasses girl did that.
Yeah, but that was their whole relationship.
I'm just saying, it's not like it's
I mean,
impossible.
like
to
it's
do.
like he never liked her and she never liked him, so it was strained from the beginning. This is a different this is like you saying that isn't gonna affect the relationship. If Fatoshi is like, dude, I fucking love you, and she's like, oh, I don't mean not so much. This is gonna affect Fatoshi, bro.
I mean, she did affect him. Just
I mean,
saying.
I think the
Yes,
thing that
she
was
did, but not his piloting.
yeah, the thing that threw me off the most with those two was I thought Kokoro was into him. You know, because we had all those
It was
sequences.
obvious from the beginning that she wasn't, though.
Really? Oh man, I misread that. Man, I'm bad at reading signals.
It was
Yeah,
just
same.
it was just that she was so nice that you were like, oh, she's or she likes.
Well, I think it's like a thing of like when it comes to shipping in general, right? Like the moment that characters are being nice to each other, you know, that's enough. But for Kokoro in this case,
Oh, yeah, like these 1,000 Kirishima Mina moments that are going on every single time they look at each other.
oh
It's kinda
yeah,
getting on my nerves.
yeah, right? Like
she is trying so hard.
yes.
I'm reaching, man.
It's still better than Bakugo X Ochako, I'm just saying.
Okay,
Oh my
clone.
God,
Clone,
dude, get
let it
over
go. Let it go. Guys, for the record, there's
not.
there's a great video hitting the channel in a few days, maybe tomorrow. Keep an eye out for it. Clone, I want to let you know
Man.
your segment's
Look.
going to be amazing.
Just let it go, all right? Like,
No, I refuse.
Anyway, back with Kokoro and Futoshi. Because she was mimicking 02, I really thought they had a thing, but I guess Scully was right. Scully was the one who was saying no. They're just garden
just
love.
playing up.
Your guesses last time was that the baby was gonna be hers and Fatoshi, right?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
No, Trips.
Oh.
Trip.
That was my
You were like,
guess.
it's gonna be her and Mitsuru. That was
Yeah.
you. I guess Scully was right about the love child.
Yeah, you know, every time I think about these two characters, I remember there was the anime series, The New World or something, or Story from the New World. It's like it was a weird one where the kids were like psychic and there were monsters that would walk around, and the kids were really closely raised from childhood to adulthood. Anyway, this is a massive spoiler, but one of the kids, they just kind of went off into the woods and they had a kid in the woods. You know, that's kind of what I picture for Mitsuru and Kokoro. They're just gonna run away and have a kid out in the desert, and then someone's gonna murder them. Because, you know, it's a desert. Anyway,
Working fast.
those are my long-term ideas for what's gonna happen with Kokoro and Mitsuru.
They're gonna die.
Mitsuru's gonna not have a stick up his ass because Hiro's gonna remember everything. So positive things all around for those two. Especially since she finally used the gun. Holy shit! Her giant robot has a massive gun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole thing with that.
I just realized something. It's kind of like a metaphor for the relationship. You know, so like every other like robot is basically the embodiment of the girl, just the girl, not the guy. But because he loves her so much and she doesn't like reciprocate those feelings, the fatness of him kind of gets reflected into her robot. So like he's mostly powering the relationship, which is something that I find like is a good touch. Or maybe I'm just reading like really dumbly into it.
I have no idea what you meant by that.
Same.
So like, all right. So you know like how all the mechs are like, you know, basically forms of the girls, like just the girls, you know.
Yes.
Like the guys really don't have like an effect on how the robots look like, because they're mostly in sync. I like how for Fatoshi's and Kokoro's robot, it's like because she really doesn't have that much interest in him, or like she doesn't like reciprocate the feelings for him that he does for her. You know, like he feels really strongly about her. Like,
Yeah.
the robot kind of takes the form of Fatoshi. Like you can see it because like the robot's kind of fat and like it's a big tank. You know, it really doesn't embody Kokoro. So I thought that was like a nice little thing they put in there. I can't believe I had to say that twice.
Okay, so you're saying like
nice.
in the design of the robot, they incorporated Fatoshi to make him like a tank. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just had to switch back to the iPad laptop because it was not working entirely.
Oh, we can hear you though, Prower. So, oh, TGC just left. I was about to add. Oh, TGC, he's there.
Good in the hood.
All right. No, the best part about the previous episode was that the two robots actually used everything. Kokoro's used the gun, and Ikuno's used the leg stabbers.
So, are we pretty much saying that Ikuno is Futoshi's girl? Like, this is who she was destined to be with? Is that it?
I mean, she's better with him than she is with Mitsuru. Like, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, TGC, did you want to lead the way on the topic you wanted to talk about tonight?
I'm suffering from a cold. Didn't do that. Yeah, so I came in here late because life stuff, and the plan for tonight was to talk about like general kind of sense. I'm sick. So yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna do. Anybody's with that? So everybody fine with that?
Yeah,
I'm
we're
fine with that.
we're good with that, man.
Or would you rather talk about Kokoro and Mitsuru?
Oh no, this was just like what we were doing for the beginning, just to solve for time for you.
Yeah, we can. A trope talk would probably be better and have a lot more material, at least to fill up the hour, than about Kokoro and Mitsuru and Futoshi.
Yeah.
I like how everyone refers to him as Fatoshi now. Like, not even
Because
Futoshi
he's
anymore.
fat. I still call him Fatty.
Hmm.
Because I'm an asshole, but that's okay.
But like, even people, like, in the server, people who liked him, or still like him, refer to him as Fatoshi now.
I think they
Okay.
kind of always done that.
Yeah,
No,
I think
no,
he definitely
Everyone-
fell. He definitely fell in people's respect. That's pretty clear.
Cause he's a fucking wuss, dude. That's
Oh my
why.
god. Alright. Trope talk, right? Trope talk.
Yeah, trope talk. So, TGC, how
Let's
do you
talk
want
about
to?
the fat kid who's a wuss. That's a trope,
One
isn't
that
it?
came into like talk in the mod channel was rivals. So we're gonna start off with rivalries.
Okay.
The classic tropes for rivals.
So, which trope is first?
Rivalries. So the rivalry trope of you have the main protagonist and then you have his foil, the guy who's, and usually it's not even his foil, it's basically the guy who's way cooler than him, and he's basically the badass, and he does everything better than the protagonist. That's who like basic rivalries in most of your series.
So we're talking Naruto and Sasuke,
Talking
Yuno
Naruto, Sasuke.
and Asta,
Yep.
Hiro and Mitsuru. No, they're not rivals. They're not rivals at all.
I'd put 9 Alpha.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, 9
Like
Alpha.
9 Alpha
and-
has shown up for about like 30 seconds, all in all. Easily more of a rival to Hiro than Mitsuru.
Okay. All right.
Goku, Vegeta.
Goku. Oh, yeah. What
Yep,
about
that's
what about Goku and Jiren? Is that now a new rivalry yet?
no.
You have to have fought someone at least twice. To be a rivalry.
Yeah, and fighting that same person multiple times in a tournament does not count. That only counts as one.
Yeah, it has to be like a multiple encounters.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily. Plus, I thought we were naming the biggest rivalry in all of Dragon Ball because Goku and Jiren does not amount anywhere near Goku Vegeta levels. Gonna be honest.
So yeah, like,
Yeah.
what are our thoughts of you know, of the idea like, all right, so we're gonna have our protagonist be this singular kind of guy, and then his rival is basically gonna be better than him in every way, but his rival will always see like the value of the protagonist because I don't know, the rival's smart. Usually this happens in lots of like sports anime too. For example, I mean Kuroko no Basket, Haikyuu, B-Steps, all of those. Like you'll have basically spectators, they'll look onto the game and they'll be like, well the protagonist is obviously really bad, you know, and the other guy's also obviously really awesome. That's kind of how it works 80% of the time.
Right.
And then the rival will usually be the guy who defends him, or at least sees the value in him. You know, just like as a person, even though no one else really does.
Or they do the opposite, like Vegeta did at first with Goku.
It's like, what are your thoughts on these tropes? And like, I mean, do you guys like them?
Well, it depends on how they are written for me. Like, I like Goku and Vegeta, but Black Clover, like many of other things in it, the main rivalry feels like it's just trying to element Naruto's Sasuke as well as a few other rivalries, but not putting up the same kind of feel as the other ones. Just feels like a Walmart knockoff.
I don't know. With the rivalries, I think they're at their best. They're at their best when 1 second. Yeah, I think they're at their best when the characters build each other up, right? Like when you can have two people coming into conflict, and through their conflict, you get to see these new aspects of the characters. I think that's when a rivalry is done well. So a rivalry that builds characters up and puts what they are on the line, I think I think it's the more satisfying rivalry. I like it as a tool to explore characters.
Mm-hmm. And you could do this with it being built up over time, but it does not necessarily have to be built up over time. Like, for example, Goku and Vegeta, their first battle that cemented their rivalry as the series continue onward, they did not have any build up besides Raditz coming and Goku ended up sacrificing himself to stop Raditz.
Oh no, we lost him.
Damn.
Damn.
He always seems to fall out at the worst times.
Oh well. We'll just give him a second, see if he comes back. But does anyone else want to share their opinion on rivalries?
Honestly, I think rivalries work best when there's only one villain throughout the entire series. The rival is sort of not even the main villain. He's just someone who's working with the villain the entire way through. Gundam did it great. Gundam did it fantastically.
Gungrave?
Gundam.
Gun.
Which Gundam? Like the original Gundam?
Original, yeah. I'm talking
okay.
the original. The one with the terribly choppy animation.
Oh, yes. Okay. Ah, there you are, Prower.
I feel like Prower said his entire point and then realized
Yeah.
he was just
I did. I said my entire point and realized it cut me off.
I don't know. It seems like you finished your entire thing and then you got cut off.
No,
Oh.
so we listened to you until you said the build up was strong. Or I mean the only build up was Raditz.
Oh, I continued on from that point. Yeah, the only build up was the fight with Raditz and Goku dying and coming back. That was not build up between the two different characters. It was just a struggle that Goku went through. While on the other hand, I know we don't want to use this as a sample too much tonight because we could use it over and over again, and I'm sure they want other examples, but My Hero Academia showed how to build up a rivalry pretty well in the form of Izuku and Todoroki that went all the way until episode 10 where it had a nice resolution.
I mean, that's kind of like a baby rivalry, though.
I understand it's a
Yeah,
bit
the real rivalry is Shigaraki and Overhaul. Like 100%,
Yeah.
that's a real rivalry.
That was a real rivalry. Like, no joke either.
I know. I just said how a great way that it showed a rivalry built up. I'm not necessarily saying that it's a immensely great rivalry on the same level as Goku and Vegeta.
I think the Izuku-Todoroki rivalry was sort of forced by Todoroki. Like, he wanted to make that happen because he saw himself as, and he saw himself as Endeavor's son, but he didn't want to be, while Izuku was pretty much the stand-in for All Might.
Right.
So Todoroki tried to force that rivalry, and no one else was having any of it. No one gave a shit.
Yeah, so like, Scully is correct. I mean, Izuku's like, I don't really want to be your rival. Can't we just be friends? On the other hand, Overhaul and Shigaraki is a great rivalry. I actually really like it, even though, it got like fucking 5 panels of screen time. Well, it got like a chapter and some change. But, actually 2 chapters and some change because when Shigaraki just wins. But yeah, like that's like it's a really good rivalry. It showcases, this is a good motivation for characters to have a rivalry behind. Like they're both going after something similar, but it's mostly a clash of ideals separates them, and also usually it's two. What I like about most shonen anime and their rivalries is it's 2 alphas, trying to prove that they're the man. And that was kind of like the case between Shigaraki and Shisaki. Was that like both of them are like the leaders, and neither of them are gonna like give that up. So,
I loved how the people they were working with showed how differently their whole methodology was. To Chisaki, every single person was a tool to be used to help him.
Mm-hmm.
while Shiggy was just like, 100%, I trust you guys that you'll know what to do. This is all up to you. And especially when he was trying to rip off Overhaul's hand. Like, he jumps in, not even telling anyone he's going to do this. He trusts them 100%.
This is what I'm gonna do, guys.
Yeah, and that shows he has better leadership skills as well.
I mean, not necessarily. Like, it doesn't show anything about his leadership. It just mostly shows that he's created a work environment that like suits his people more. I mean, if he did, like, for example, Overhaul's coons are just dudes that will listen to him, and if you put them in Shigaraki's group, like Shigaraki, the reason that Shigaraki's group works so well in that type of an atmosphere is because they're a bunch of individuals. And that was kind of made clear too by Horikoshi from the beginning. Like as an antithesis, and like they join on their own, which is like basically, they join on their own, while Shisaki literally recruits these people to be a part of his family. That's like a Yakuza thing, right? Like family, like kind of like a mafia thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how
oh
they
no,
do it.
I love how in the fights with all the 8 precepts, whatever, they're shown they don't work together well. Like, other than working around Shisaki, they're fighting each other in the middle of fighting the heroes.
Except for the 3 that were like power of friendship.
Right.
Yeah, the 3 of those. I thought they
Fairy
did
Tale logic couldn't save
kind of
them
all right.
from Sun Eater.
To be fair, that wasn't fairy tale logic. Like, what they were doing was... That was probably a nice way of doing friendship power-ups. Or not really a friendship power-up, but friendship strategy.
It wasn't a friendship power-up. It's more like we have a reason to fight. So it kind of gave them like... It kind of put you in their shoes. You're like, yeah, respect. They might win this because they have... like that thing in war stories where it's like, if you have a picture of a loved one, you're basically gonna die. The opposite isn't shown in anime. In anime, if you have a goal, you shouldn't be able to fail. And if you have a reason to fight, you shouldn't be able to fail. But, I mean, that didn't work there.
Right.
Actually, I'm remembering, like, when it came to friendship power-ups, another series that did it in a funny way was the 7 Deadly Sins. They had a sequence where the 2 characters just kind of mimic each other's styles, and then that gave them a bit of a power-up only because they had a new arsenal of techniques. I thought that was an interesting way of making a rivalry work in increasing a character's power, sort of. Just cool little things.
Good reference. Good point.
Oh, I think someone's gonna be joining in with us as well.
Oh, cool.
I think Karma's coming in. Anyway. I don't really know what else to say for the rivals point. I don't have many other opinions other than...
Like, this is just a standard thing with every trope. Literally, none of them are bad, but they can all be executed terribly.
Yes.
That's like, people have like, there's a very negative connotation with tropes. It's like, well, those are like, that's such a cliche, man. Like, why are you just using all these tropes? Like, you can't make anything new anymore. Everything that has been done, everything that can be done has been done.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I can like come up with that hasn't been done. No.
Okay, like, if you make a series without tropes, you're making a series that doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, even if you try to avoid tropes, you still end up hitting tropes inadvertently. Like, you can't get away from them.
It's because tropes are basics of writing. Like, I can't write a shonen story without without having adventure themes, like basic adventure themes and like young kids. And yeah, I don't have to make it like I don't have to make it like a battle shonen, and I might be able to pass it up with like not that many like kids, but like at the end of the day, there's still like some precepts that I'm gonna have to hit because that's the genre I'm in. So like yeah, let's get that kind of like uh out of the way before like we're not shitting on anything. We're just like having a commentary on them.
All right.
Yeah.
So which trope should we cover next?
I mean,
Oh.
well,
Villain.
we were talking about rivals, but we sort of ended up talking about villains and sort of the more stereotypical villain tropes. I suppose we could go into that.
That was that was a mighty fine segue, Skelly.
I think it did great. But yeah, villains. You want to premise us for this one, TGC?
So you like on average villains are like in anime are usually interesting because like a lot of anime just have antagonists, and what I like is that you usually they do a good job of showing you their side of the story and everything, and that's a great that's like a great ability to have. It's like to keep you at least not like hating them. Like bad shows or most bad shows will just make the what's it called super like. And I guess this is where it comes in like super cliche. Like you'll like some tropes for villains are he's like okay, so if we're gonna start with like adventure attack like adventure anime, like I don't know, post-apocalyptic, you'll have the one dude who's just like a snarky asshole who just like has a problem with basically everything that the hero is working towards, so he's kind of in the way of that. So think of whatever the dude's name from Sword Art Online, the one who wanted to rape Asuna and also like take control of the company and was also an asshole at the same time. So like he's the kind of dude that will be in the way of like the character's goals and also just like at the same time be an asshole. You also have the kind of dude who's like a super nice guy at the beginning, or has like be super appears to be nice on the surface, but has maybe some ideals that don't are kind of like villainous. He might also just be like not be a nice guy. Like that's just like all not act. Usually he's like really pretty, like as a guy, or like maybe he's a girl.
Well, yeah, up till that point, I was about to say, man, I just forgot his name, but I believe it's Tucker.
Oh no, we lost him again.
Tucker.
He just starts talking and then he's gone. That's a real tragedy.
It's so bad for him. But yeah, so you have those kind of guys. There's the classic, he's super powerful, he has basically the entire country under his thumb kind of villains. Yeah, so like, there's all these different tropes. Oh, Tucker, yeah, I know who he was talking about. That was a Dragon Ball Z reference.
No, Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist, like the doctor. That
Shout Tucker? He wasn't really a villain.
He was an antagonist, and he was a small antagonist when it came to the overall story, but he did appear nice on the surface. He turned out he actually had some pretty messed up ideals, to the point in which that in order to support his self and not be ostracized, he would combine his daughter and their dog into a chimera that just was suffering, just in order to keep his position.
Dr. Tucker. So
He wasn't a doctor. He was just an alchemist.
Yeah, I don't know why I
his
said
initial
doctor.
was doctor. I thought like he was a research. Whatever.
No, he was just he just dealt with chimeras.
Yeah, he
Just
died.
sewing like alchemist Shao Tucker. You're thinking of Dr. Marco, who's a completely different dude.
I wasn't thinking of Dr. Marco.
No.
I just don't know why I said doctor. And came to
TGC said doctor. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm just associating him with the word doctor because I remember his main role was like he was working with chimeras, and I thought he was like
a vet,
a chemist more than like an alchemist.
Yeah, but
like
he wasn't a doctor.
Or whatever. I know Dr. Marco. He was the one who had the messed up face, right?
Yep.
By the end of the series. Okay. I actually haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist in a really long time. But yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is like actually a really great show because there's like 1,000 different villains in that one.
right.
Yeah.
For the most part, they're all unique in their own different ways, and some of them show how wrong it could be through corruption of religion. Like I forget that one father near the beginning of the story. If you guys know what I'm talking about,
The priest dude?
yes, that guy.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he's supposed to show he was supposed to represent that side, while Tucker was supposed to be the exact opposite with alchemy, and of course you have characters like Father and Envy and all, and several go on and on about the different villains from that series.
I mean, Rage, Pride, Lust,
Right.
Gluttony, Envy.
Mm-hmm.
Father is kind of like, I mean, I like Fullmetal Alchemist does a really good job, covering all the bases with the rest of their villains. But Father is the worst villain on a very objective scale.
I mean, yeah, he was just some power-hungry asshole who wanted to like become God or whatever. It's kind of weird,
like
but
kill him like an entire nation. That part was cool. It was like a really elaborate plan. It's really funny how Mace Hughes fucking figures it out like in literally like 13 episodes within the show.
yeah, and then he dies in a fucking phone booth.
It's like how like dude, fucking like he knew everything, and obviously like, but like how was he not looking over his shoulder? Like the first thing I would have done was like call Mustang. But, like
He tried to call
good.
Mustang, and that's when he ended up getting killed.
No, but I wouldn't have called Mustang the way he called Mustang. He called Mustang like the most idiotic way possible. He went to the most public area. I understand like why he went to the phone booth, but like he shouldn't have went to the phone booth.
Oh, he was stabbed.
I mean, there's not much you can do when you've been stabbed and like you're bleeding out. You know, he tried to use the military phone, and then.
I mean, but you can. There's a lot you can do when you're stabbed and you're bleeding out. You can patch the wound and then put yourself
Have
in
you
a
ever
position.
been stabbed? It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, and also the fact that he knew his attacker was still following, even though he shot the attacker point blank range.
I mean, Mace Hughes is a, like military trained personnel. Oh yeah, well, Power's right though. Like, I mean, if I was still being chased by someone, I probably wouldn't have like. If he was like, I don't remember everything. I thought he was, so like he shot her and then she still didn't die.
Yeah, she got shot in the head and just was like, just got back up.
He didn't shoot her. He threw his little like knife thingy.
My bad. Yeah, either way, it still was a lethal blow for anyone but her.
Fucking homunculus.
Yeah, poor guy got screwed when it comes to matchups.
Mace Hughes deserved better. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Mace Hughes died for our sins.
He did.
And then his funeral Daddy needs to go to work.
So you guys had a nice little bit there with Maze Hughes and Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fullmetal Alchemist like has all the different villains, and you know, and each one of them kind of hits their own cliche. In a way.
Right. Like Scar has his cliche about revenge and the path, the way to redemption, and all that sort of stuff too.
Yeah. Other villains, Frieza. Frieza's your tyrannical ruler, who's just like super evil and just wants to fucking kill people.
What about Darling and the franxx? What are the villains that we're getting for Darling and the franxx? Because right now we have like
Ape, easily the villain.
Who's Ape again? Is that like father and
Ape
all
is
those
like the
people?
whole government system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
what about
Like, yeah,
the
I mean, pretty much everybody knows it by now.
yeah? Well, I'm just wondering if we're gonna get a bigger villain than Ape. Like, are the Klaxosaurs actually a big deal? Because like it seems like the Klaxosaurs are intelligent enough that they're able to attack things with purpose. So I just wonder if there's gonna be a villain beyond Ape, because Ape as a villain right now, all they got going for them is just like that kind of grandiose. They're the type of guys that go and just control society. You know.
Well, no, that's because Ape is fundamentally, I suppose, not a physical villain. They're villains in that they control everything. Their real weapons would be the nines.
Yeah.
So Ape is a structure.
Yeah.
It's like it's so basically you're taking down an entire society when it comes to Ape.
Like their real weapons would be the nines, who we've
So like you
only just seen all of them.
you physically fight them through the nines.
Yeah.
But the way you really take them down is from the inside. I guess the idea is like they're gonna take the easy way out in Darling and the franxx, and then they're just gonna kill the leaders of Ape, Papa, and then everything's gonna go back to normal.
Man,
No, I think they're probably just gonna remove their power, and then they're just gonna leave. Because honestly, because of the Klaxosaurs, the world that they live in is fundamentally unstable. Like, because we can see there's nature growing in these abandoned places.
Yeah, like when it comes to Ape, I really think this is going to be a case where these guys aren't going to be fleshed out enough. Like they're just going to be villains for the sake of villainy. But the kids could just leave them, because I think Ape does good for the old people that live in the cities.
Yeah.
Depends on your definition of good.
Well, good as in like they'll preserve their already shitty lives.
Yeah. Because they
But
can't
is that
survive
really
without Ape.
good?
That's actually really, really difficult to argue. Like, do these people's like continued existence matter enough? I'd say sure. Yeah, no. Like these people are victims of everything.
Yeah, I think the best way for I think the villainy that Ape imposes to our group is the lack of freedom. They take away the freedom of the kids. And so how the kids beat them is to just get their freedom. That's how I think they'll resolve
so
it.
like Ape is basically the utopia. That like so they're the ideal that exists, but there's sacrifices that can't come with the ideal. So you know like how when you're in an economic class and everything they fucking teach you is like, okay, so this is probably the best economic. This is one of the best economic systems you can have, and then they'll teach you everything about it, right?
Yeah.
And in the end, they'll give you the disclaimer, which is So everything about this is the ideal. This has no real world application.
Sounds like communism.
Oh boy. Confirmed, Darling in the franxx is political.
Is it?
Anyways, go on with your point.
Well, I mean that was my point. So like that's like kind of So like it's the ideal, but really like the ideal. What a lot of people don't understand is like when I'm like, okay, so when we're gonna use communism as like a real world example. So when I come in, or socialism actually, because communism is more like a whatever. So we're gonna use socialism as an example, and Stalin was a socialist who's also a fascist. Well, let's say Stalin wasn't a fucking asshole, right?
Okay.
So he distributes the wealth equally among the people in a way, and they all do their jobs, right? And the people who work hard and the people who don't work hard, both get the same amount of money. Due to this, there's gonna be an endless cycle of like people who are constantly unhappy with the amount of money they get because at an eventual rate, there's not gonna be enough production to warrant the amount of money that you're giving them. So it's gonna constantly go down. Because when you have a set salary and you don't have a changing economy, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so like that's the problem. And like that's the problem with when you don't like have a set hierarchy or like a set incentive type thing. So yeah, but like yeah, so like the idea of socialism is great. Everybody gets money, but when you put it into practice, it's dumb. So here it's like, okay, guys, we're gonna make everybody's life super easy, but the sacrifices that you make, it's like everybody's gonna be fair and equal and everything, but like you're also not gonna be happy. You're not gonna understand what happiness really is, and you're gonna get pleasure out of a fucking tanning bed.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Great. What a world. I guess on
Yeah, what a
another
world.
note
Well,
of
the Klaxos are really the good guys here.
yeah, I'm waiting for that.
I feel like they're gonna reveal, like, honest to God, I've always gotten the sense that these Klaxosaurs aren't like organic. They're more like man-made or artificial or something, and that like Ape or whoever Papa and all them are like the bad guys, and that the Klaxosaurs are sent by like people who are trying to save the planet.
I wouldn't be surprised if if there were people controlling the Klaxosaurs, but I don't know. The series
Next
hasn't
time we
given
see
us.
Naomi, she's gonna be half Klaxosaur, and she's gonna
Oh!
be like, "You're the ones ruining their planet."
That'll be
Dude, she's
something.
dead.
Oh,
Just
true.
accept it.
True. Oh yeah, that's true.
That'll be something.
That makes a lot of sense now that you think about it.
Which part?
You extract magma from the core of the fucking earth. I don't know how much of a real world like effect that has, but I'm pretty sure it fucks it
No,
up.
that's why they're named after cross-dimensional discontinuities. That's why that's their rankings.
Their disaster rankings are based after like seismic terms, is what Skelly's saying. So, yeah. I thought it was pretty clear though that the Klaxosaurs are a manifestation of like what apes doing to the planet, or like at least they're counter to that, right? Because they show up whenever the whole magma extraction's happening.
Yep.
It's just a question of whether or not there's a bigger person behind it,
There's
controlling
no way
it.
there's not.
I don't know. It's just like I don't think Darling and the franxx is gonna have developed villains. I think we're just gonna end them off at being caricatures, and I have no reason to believe otherwise when it comes to Trigger shows. I don't think Trigger's good at developing villains.
I don't really want to like limit this to like a Trigger versus like A1 kind of thing, and whether they like, because obviously everything has their like own little. I'm pretty sure they brought in a new, not a new writing team, but like now that they have like a collaboration between two different studios, it's gonna be different from like your regular Trigger.
That's a good point.
So yeah, villains are nice. Objectively, the best villain in history is probably Ronald Reagan.
What?
Who's blowing into their mic?
I think it's
Not me.
TGC's.
I don't think it's me because I'm my mic like super far away from me.
I know it's not me.
Anyway, it's good. It's gone now. So you were saying
yeah. So Ronald Reagan, greatest
Yeah.
villain in history.
Well, I don't know enough about American history to corroborate that, but I'll take your word for it.
All right, so the best part, I think, of Darling in the Franxx is the fact it's 100% the power of love. Like, if you have a problem with anything in this series, the answer is it's the power of love.
Oh my
Hey,
god!
how come they
what a
can power out the
great
Franxx?
segue.
Power of love. How come Mitsuru is such a piece of shit? He doesn't have the power of love.
Dude, that's like two great segues in a row, Skelly. You're on fire today.
Yeah, let's not point out the segues. Anyway,
You're ruining my segues.
yeah, no, power of love. Yeah, we've seen that. Like, we have even level meters.
Drop through your segues.
I do want to point out, though, it seems to be love in the physical sense, not love in the actual sense, given that Mikuno's able to make it work anyway.
Yeah, so
Just remember, for a lot of the time, she is thinking about.
Oh yeah. Oh, but power of love didn't save her when it came to like writing in that, trying to get the thing going with the same-sex pairing.
They didn't have the numbers.
That's because they didn't both have the power of love.
Right. But see, what I'm saying is, she can make up for it when she's got physical love on her side. Right?
Yeah. Like, what's it called? Like, if it was just physical stuff, Mitsuru and Kokoro should have had 0 issues. And then, after she did her whole thing, then their nut sync ratio went way up.
Dude, it's all mental. I've been saying this forever. It's all mental.
Yeah, it's all the power of love.
no, it's all sexual. It's definitely sexual.
Yes, they are metaphorically fucking, mind fucking, but it's not physical. It's mental.
I thought it was physical, mental, and emotional. I thought it was a compromise. I thought that's the way we're going here.
It's all mental, dude. Mental and emotional,
But
whatever.
the dude's steering, so it's kind of physical.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Power of love.
Well,
Power of love.
Not really power of love, but more like romantic subplots in general.
Yeah, power of passion. I feel like power of passion is probably a good way of explaining it.
sure,
So,
let's
yeah.
go with that.
So anime romantic subplots. Who doesn't love a good romantic subplot? Your average love triangle is really nice.
I don't.
No. Look, no, you ruined it by saying good romantic subplots.
I don't like.
Yeah,
Like, who doesn't love a good romantic subplot?
Who doesn't love a bad romantic subplot?
I don't love that because
I
they
don't.
can get really annoying really quickly and distract from the overall story.
Yeah, like
I'm just gonna use like. I mean, obviously this show has a lot of flaws, but like I'm gonna use Fairy Tail. The whole Juvia Gray thing, that was just stupid. Like, it
But
was so overdone.
But conversely,
What?
Levi and Gajeel was really nice.
That one was written
Stapled to a tree.
Yeah,
That's their first meeting, and that's a wonderful thing.
Man, I love that subplot just because of just the horrors that you could talk about with it. Like, you could talk about Stockholm Syndrome. You can talk about how the writer just, like, totally threw away trauma. You can talk about how trauma is just totally normalized after a while. Like, crucifixion doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it didn't matter to Jesus. He came back anyway. It's also Easter, so perfect time to say that.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, Jesus pulled off the ultimate April Fool's prank. They thought he was They thought he was dead. April Fool's, bitch, I'm alive. Come at me.
Dedication 3 whole days inside a cave.
Best practical joke ever.
Jesus was. I mean, I was having a conversation with my friend about this. Jesus was the original gangster. No joke. I mean, imagine how lit the parties were. Like
His
you just have to
first
believe-
miracle was make the party go longer.
Well, he could turn water into wine. So
Exactly. That was his first miracle.
Dude, and he was such a savage too. He was like, "All right, so there's this blind guy, right?" It's like, "All right, cool. All right, so blind guy, come here. I can totally heal you by just waving my hands, but first I'm gonna spit into the dirt, grab the dirt, and then rub it into your eyes. That's how much of a savage I am, and you're still gonna be not blind."
Okay. I didn't remember that part of the story, but wow. Yeah, that's pretty savage.
That was in the Bible, yeah.
Huh.
And shall we talk about how? Let's see. What did he use to make a dinner for all of those people? It was like 4 fish and a
I
few
don't
loaves.
remember.
Yeah, it was a really small amount. He was able to feed all of the people just with that small amount.
He gave him like all one fish nugget. Let's be real here.
Speaking of chosen ones,
Oh, here we go.
Nice
All right.
transition. 10 out of 10.
you're just feeding them to me. All right. So like I've never seen a chosen one ever. Like I've never seen it ever shown. The main character is the chosen one. I've never seen it.
Anakin
You ever watched
Skywalker
Naruto?
in Star Wars.
You ever watched Naruto?
Look, I was only in it for the Hyugas are actually eugenicist meme. I've never actually watched Naruto.
Well, they are. I mean, that's not a lie.
Deku's a chosen one. He's a main character.
Who?
Deku.
But not really. He's like a self-made chosen one.
Yeah, he's a self-made
Yeah.
chosen one.
But he was
Well,
given one for
how
all,
about
though.
this for example of a chosen one? Dandy from Space Dandy.
That's not fair.
Oh, no.
He's a he's a
He's
quantum
crazy.
survivor. Well, then again,
Yeah, but
he has
the
that-
narrator, aka God, chose him be like, you could replace me.
yeah, okay, yeah, okay. You want to talk about chosen ones though? There was the kid from Smartphone, the one isekai show that was going on, I think last year. Like God picked him and just gave him a smartphone that's souped up with powers, and he just kind of went ham. I think that's the worst.
No, it was not the one isekai. There was multiple isekais, like Knights and Magic. That was a thing too.
No, Smartphone was different because the kid was actually met with God, and God was actually helping him out throughout the entire show. Like it was the kind of thing where he would freak out about the girls in his harem actually saying they love him, and he has to go talk to a god of love. So he would just regularly talk to God, call him up on his phone whenever he had trouble. So when it came to chosen, yeah,
Hey, yo, God, got a problem here. I need a doctor. Last night me and this girl got crazy, and now her neck snapped.
yeah, pretty much, I mean, not that fatal, but pretty much. So when it came to chosen ones,
Kirito with God on speed dial.
wow. When it came to chosen ones, Smartphone is really ridiculous. But to some degree, most isekai are kind of ridiculous with it.
Yeah, another example of a chosen one. Technically, Kazuma from Konosuba count.
Oh, Clone, you're making noise.
Yeah, that's not me. But
Yeah, that was.
That's
I think
probably
just put,
me.
like a tissue up to your mic. You like scratch it up to it. That's how that's what I feel like you do.
yeah, I'm just wondering, would you count Kazuma from Konosuba as a chosen one?
As a
Tech-
okay, so let's
Technically.
like, define chosen one real quick. So a chosen one is usually a guy who was like literally chosen. So usually there's like a higher power, and not like as in like a god, but usually like an elder maybe who, like, chooses this person to do something to fulfill a quest. Maybe he's the chosen part of a prophecy. So like you've been waiting for this person to come along, and like that's the person. Um, Sometimes they're the just they just fucking walk into it, right? There's like a lot of ways, and sometimes they are like linearly like, and their lineage is basically defined who they are as a person, and that has made them the chosen one behind what their goal is. So yeah, like good example, I brought up before, Naruto. So for a lot of Naruto, and I think like what brought a lot of people into Naruto was that it was cool, and I think it might have been the first time you ever saw this, like especially as a kid. You experienced a super underdog story where this kid he came from nothing, he had nothing. I'm pretty sure I cried like 10 times watching that show, like 3 times probably just in the first episode. This was just so fucking sad, man. Like you feel bad for him, like he has no advantages whatsoever, and you're just rooting for him like really hard until like basically the end of the show where it's revealed, so you know Naruto, the dude who like at the beginning kind of like had nothing. Well, he's actually the son of the fourth Hokage, if you didn't know. He's also a part of the legendary Uzumaki clan, who we haven't talked about the entire show, by the way. But the legendary Uzumaki clan, who have like tons and tons and tons of chocolate, and also they're like basically the rivals of the Hyuga. Or, I don't know, something like that.
They're the cousins of the Hyuga, was their thing.
I don't know. By the way, did you also know that that he's basically the reincarnate of fucking Jesus? Yeah, just saying, and that he also has the powers of God given to him. He can also like clear blood. He can also stop a person from dying, like just by waving his hand, and restore eyesight by the wave of his hand. He can like have an eye pop back into someone's fucking head. No joke. He actually has those powers. So basically, by the end of the Naruto becomes Jesus in like every sense of the word. He is Jesus.
Oh, was that the dying and coming back 3 days later part, and then staying dead?
He does. He dies and then he comes back, not 3 days later, but a day later. No joke.
Oh, what is it? The only thing I've ever seen with the Chosen One, at least that I remember, would be the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. That's the only one. Like, ever. It's not even an anime.
Well, I got a chosen one that was not mentioned.
What is it?
Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, wait.
Literally in Harry Potter, it's prophesized that he would bring the end to Voldemort.
J.K. Rowling kind of like puts an end to that. She really makes it more that it was fate that brought him into this, more than the prophecy, because Neville, she does this thing where she's just basically like, oh, you know, like the dude who is kind of like the least important member of your favorite character group. Yeah, he was also a possibility to be the chosen one.
Right, yeah. No, I've heard a lot of discussions about how Neville was so close.
It's not a discussion. He just like literally, it was a choice between.
It's like straight up said.
I think it was because, Voldemort was like, Harry's a half blood like me, so it's more poetic if I kill him. Whilst Neville was a pure blood. I think that was like the kind of thing.
I don't know much about Harry Potter, so I can't.
On that part.
Yeah, I can't continue with that one.
Can you like? Wait, what?
Sorry, what? I'm just reading comments that people are saying.
Okay.
Anybody else mention it?
Well, you know, like technically, with Naruto, Naruto wasn't the only chosen one. Sasuke was a chosen one, but also Madara and the Senju guy. I forget his name. Hashirama. They were both also like previous iterations of chosen ones. So it was kind of interesting how they did it.
Like reincarnations, they weren't chosen ones because they didn't have like a set obligation. It was more like by the end of Naruto, he was the chosen one because it no longer he no longer had empowered himself. He had been empowered by like forces that were greater than him. Whilst for them, it was like, yeah, they were reincarnations and they continued to feud, but they really never had like a fucking goal, like he did. And you never really invested into it. So,
Well, no,
it doesn't.
is that fair to say? Because Hashirama did have a goal. He established the ninja village system. Like he put an end, or at least
He did. He did acknowledge. Yeah, but like at that point, it had already been history, like where we start the anime,
yes,
or like just the series. So the idea of like applying it to like when you learn that he is the reincarnation of one of the brothers doesn't apply as much because like no one no one cares. Like Hashirama was like dead, and like he like yeah, that's cool. It's more that it was like a precursor to what they were gonna do with Naruto, because when they did it with Naruto, it was like, well, that was like the reason, but
well, I understand. I understand
Naruto
what
is
you're.
like the definition of fake underdog. Like he's an underdog, but then like really soon afterwards, we find out a lot of stuff. No, he's not the underdog at all. He's got way more like objective power than everyone else. He just lacks control.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like part one Naruto is. Part one Naruto is definitely a hardcore underdog until the destiny thing took over in part two. I think part one Naruto, you couldn't argue for him to be a chosen one, but like I think TGC
as
already.
soon as he wins against Neji,
I think-
he knew that he was gonna single back for that.
I think
When he
in
wins
late
against
part one,
Neji-
he loses the thing. He loses the underdog thing, which I think is fine because you can't have the main character, especially after they beat villain after villain, to be underdog the whole way through.
Hmm.
Yeah, like at some point he just becomes like when he beats Neji, it's no longer underdog like story because he just completed an upset. So everybody's like, well, let's have some respect to him for him now.
Yeah.
I think the last moment of him being an underdog was probably when he fought Kabuto. When he was with Tsunade. Like I think I cried during that scene because he had just come so far from the beginning of the series.
I know.
he fucking, like,
I know. I teared up. Oh yeah, go for TGC.
Yeah, so like you know that scene, like Kabuto stabs him, and then he like spawns two shadow clones, and then he has them create the what's it called with him?
The
I'm
Rasengan.
trying to think of the name. That I was saying on, and then he like blasts Kabuto with it. That got me like teary eyed, dude. I was like, bro, he's come so far.
I'm glad you had those moments, man. I'm glad you got that. My
Which is
tear.
really funny because continue.
I was gonna say my teary eye moments for Naruto came from Rock Lee, especially when he was about to do his surgery, because that was like just that made me feel. And then another teary eye moment came when like Naruto finally got accepted by the village and he's being tossed up. Like I felt kind of bad there too, because it's like it technically was his fault, right? Like if he didn't exist, that village wouldn't have been destroyed in the immediate time. But I'm glad no one ever talked about it.
True. True. But like who cares, man? Fucking like when he comes back and he like and is like he's and it's funny because I don't like really like Naruto anymore, but like when that happens and it's kind of like the climax of the series, you're like, we fucking made it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you had basically been following this dude to the beginning of this journey. He's getting tossed. It's like he's finally reached his dream. Everybody in the village has accepted him. Like they even do the flashback scene of everybody talking trash about him. It's like it's like they do the fucking trash talk scene, and it's like you see him being tossed up by everybody. You're like, wow, fucking happen, and they're playing the awesome music. One thing I'll give Naruto is the score. Like a lot of shonen anime just have the score, so that if they want to make you, if they want to make you feel proud, or if they want to make you teary eyed, like
Yeah, they got it. They got it definitely. Especially My Hero Academia now too. Whenever you say run, play. Oh,
You Say Run is just
it's nice. It's so
the
nice.
fact that everybody's like, hey, you Say Run goes with everything. It's
I
a
like
thing.
that they've toned down how much they use it in season 2.
Me
Or
too.
Jet Set Run, whatever they're using now.
Yeah, that was
It's saving it for actual special moments instead of just everywhere.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was getting redundant, like in season 1, when like basically if fucking Izuku breathed, they'd play You Say Run.
But yeah, other chosen ones. I really can't. No, there's hundreds. There's hundreds of thousands.
There's hundreds, man.
yeah. Like I can
Ichigo's
think of,
kind of chosen.
Are you saying Ichigo?
Tales, Archie Tales, but that we shouldn't go too in the depth of that because
Archie.
yeah, Archie. Yeah.
Griffith from Berserk is like a villainous chosen one.
Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
I mean, and like he's kind of not even like a villain. He's really just like the.
He's an
opposite
antagonist.
character.
He's an
I know.
antagonist, yeah.
He is the antagonist. I mean, he's not really. I've never considered him an antagonist. Simply because, yeah, like Guts hates him, and you're supposed to hate him, but you can also really see where he comes from, and also like a lot of what he. I remember reading directly after directly when he comes back as himself. He's just like riding his fucking horse, and I'm like, I just want you to die. I just want someone to fucking grab your guts and throw them out. Really makes you mad, man. Griffith is a great character, though.
Yeah. Just got dark there. But yeah. Griffith's a great character. I find him an interesting case of, I mentioned the thing about Chosen One, but going back to the rivals point real quick, he's an interesting case of how his competence and his just general threat made his rival pretty much build himself up into this unique visage of terror. I like the dynamics that are at play with Guts and Griffith. Really appreciate them.
Yeah, and I mean, like he's like, it's interesting because the way it goes through the golden age is Griffith isn't a rival. He's like his leader.
Yeah.
And they're best friends. And then when it gets to the point where it's like, well, I just want to leave because I don't see myself there. Griffith fucks up when he's trying to make the political moves, and then Guts hears him. That's where he really messes up. I feel bad for Griffith because if he just keeps his mouth shut, he doesn't fucking say anything, nothing happens.
If he kept
goes bad.
If he kept it in his pants too, if he just kept it in his pants, it would have been all good.
So the problem with it wasn't really keeping it in his pants because, I mean, yeah, if he does that, he doesn't go into the prison. But yeah, I mean, the moment he messes up is the moment that Casca and Guts are just like walking throughout the courtyard, and they're like about to go on these steps, and they just like overhear Griffith talking with the girl. And if Griffith just doesn't like try to be like all smug and shit, and like try to like he's basically trying to seduce the girl. He's trying to make the dumb moves, right? If he doesn't do that, because that's like the moment the series changes. And I like this is weird because that's what I love about Berserk. If that one thing doesn't happen, the entire series changes, and that's kind of amazing.
Right.
But wait, isn't the big power in Berserk like this force of causality? Isn't like causality a big deal in that things are gonna happen the way they need to happen?
So like causality is basically the idea that everything will happen. Everything like has a set course, and you can't change that course. and basically the set course is determined by this like greater power that like when Griffith ascends to be a part of the God Hand,
Yeah.
he kind of has like a play within that power. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like, and that's how, can't remember the name of the fucking author, even though he's a fucking legend. That's how he builds the ultimate underdog story for Guts. It's like he's not fighting against Griffith or like a kingdom. He's fighting against basically God, and you've seen the power of God in the show. I mean, not in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen what the greater powers can do. Like you're like I mean honestly, you become afraid. Like when you watch, because like at what he does is when he kills the entire mercenary brotherhood, you're like, damn, you don't want to mess with these niggas. Like this is kind of insane.
Yeah, I agree with that. Although I feel that Berserk, the more it got away from the mainland, the safer it became. Just because Guts' friends can afford to be funny, they can afford to be at peace. And you know, the threat of death when it came to Guts' group in current time isn't as bad as it was like really in the early days. I found that also interesting with Berserk.
Yeah. Like there's definitely a moment. It's really when they all like, cause at some point they create the band. Before they meet the witch, like they have most of the band put together. They just have to add the little girl witch.
Yeah.
And like the arc before that, where basically everything is like fucking insane. Like there's the demon sex god, donkey. Like, and they're basically fighting through that. That was probably the moment where like any, and then like there's like 3 arcs after that where anybody could have died. But they
Mm-hmm.
get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Because otherwise, I think we can start wrapping up.
All right, so Forgotten Childhood Friend is like the greatest trope that has ever existed, and there's no such thing as a bad version of that. Absolutely, 100%. I back that with my soul.
Wait, which trope?
Forgotten Childhood Friends.
Oh, okay. I see what. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think.
Okay,
it's...
I think there's a better one.
Yes, Prower?
Traps.
What'd you say, Prower?
I
said traps.
Oh.
Yeah, traps.
Traps.
I had to make that joke.
It's-
to make that joke.
Okay. I'll respect it. Yeah. Cool. I don't know. I think I like childhood friends more than that.
Yeah, I wasn't being serious. I said I had to make that joke.
Whatever you say, Prower. I don't judge.
We're all okay. Look, we watch anime. We're all degenerates here. Yes, that's right. I finally admitted I watch anime.
Whoa.
Really, real character development here in this server.
Yeah.
This is on tape, dude. We have like a recording of this. This is
Yes.
gonna go down in the books.
Yes,
And now
just like
every
how
time I say I have dignity, you can just show me this video, and it'll be no, you don't.
Yeah, just like how Clone said on a recorded line that Bakugo Chaco is cute. Can't unsay it.
Oh, it's gonna be great. But yeah, guys, I'm ready to call it a night if you guys are.
All right. Well, good night. It's pretty good as far as our podcast go. My involvement in it goes.
Yeah, I saw you in the comments.
Today was a bad day.
Yeah.
This was totally unorganized, guys. I'm sorry you had to listen to this random babbling.
Oh, whatever. Like,
Well,
things
seriously.
happen.
Things happen. We had fun. I hope you guys had fun too.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Well, what is your opinion of Goblin Slayer? Oh, Goblin Slayer is pretty cool. Have you guys
I
seen
think goblins are cute, and I'm offended. But
Okay.
honestly, Goblin Slayer is pretty nice on its own. There's a bit stupid parts, but you know, I like Goblin Slayer.
Yeah. There's no chosen one in that.
Mm.
But yeah, cool. Guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, I hope you have a great day or great night wherever you are. And we're gonna call the stream there. I am stopping.